Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the One Meal Channel. I am your host, and we are once again making an abundance of food that is typically consumed by a whole family, and yet we're going to consume it all ourselves. But while usually we would make chicken fried rice and a large pile of it every single day, today we're going to be doing something a little bit unique. We're going to be taking our leftovers, like we talked about in the last episode, and turning them into a burrito. As usual, I am joined here by my homemade chicken broth, and we are going to celebrate another upload with a sip with one another in 1, 2, 3. Just want to point out that this is, in fact, a Sherry's cup that I stole from a Sherry's 10 years ago when I was a teenager and have held on to this day because I'm not afraid of holding on to evidence. I'm pretty sure I have a couple of these Sherry's mugs. So, anyway, back to the real reason why you clicked on the video today. 2 days out of the week, I work a graveyard shift on top of my regular job. And during those graveyard shifts, it becomes incredibly difficult to get uploads out and very difficult to take time out of my day to eat, because that's about an hour or two that I could be spending sleeping. No, it doesn't take me 2 hours to eat or to cook and eat, but it does take me some time to get videos uploaded. So we're going to try to do a little bit of meal prepping, something that we haven't demonstrated on the channel before. See, we have our very first victim here. That's too bad. Make a little snack for later. We're going to do a little bit of meal prepping, taking a trip down memory lane. My first ever job, I worked like a family fun center, which is very similar to like a Chuck E. Cheese. Had mini golf and pizzas and food and play place. And our most common food item was burritos. And whenever I wanted to make food for myself, I loaded up a massive pile, as much food as I could, of basically the exact same things that you see in here. For your new viewers, this is just rice, egg fried rice, chicken, potatoes, and onions. It is cooked in bacon fat and seasoned with pepper and garlic. But when I was working at that place probably 10 plus years ago now, we'd make these all the time, and I was quite good at them. I have not made a burrito in over 10 years. So let's see if I still have the magic. And clearly I don't, because these tortillas are falling apart right in front of me, which is why we do this. Yeah, every time I fold, even when I fold them, they're falling apart. So potentially this means that I either have to heat them up or try different burritos. This is why we test these things. This is why we have a testing episode. Because look at that. Look at that. That's not going to work at all. That's not going to work at all, my friends. So we're going to remove this. We're going to take this tortilla out. Like, tortilla is for burritos. If you can't fold it on top of each other without it breaking. See, there's even another break right there. What is it? Why are all these tortillas pre-broken? I hate that. So maybe we try heating that up for a while. Let's see if that makes a difference. Despite my best efforts, we are failing. We are failing miserably. All right, 30 seconds has got to be enough. Yeah, it's definitely heated up now. Like I said, we have this pre-creased spot over here. Let's see if this makes a difference. We're gonna double up on our placemats. Yeah, I picked these tortillas out specifically. My roommate has tortillas every single day. I'll show you what he has. He's a very typical, Mission tortillas, the soft flour ones. Those are the gold standard of tortillas. However, they're not as big as these tortillas. So I went with the biggest tortilla I could find, clearly. I'm making some sort of mistake. I should go to the Mexican restaurant I go to about twice a month and ask them where they get their tortillas from. because they always give me massive, massive tortillas anytime I order a fajita mix from them. And I don't even put the fajita mix in there. I just eat the tortillas separate because it's just so good. So anyway, let's try this now. And if this messes up again, that's too bad. That is too bad. We're going to fold this on top of each other. Nice, no breaking yet, remember that. That spot was already there, that little breakage. Because you gotta be able to be comfortable with your burrito. You're a little rough with it. And if you can't be rough with it because you're worried it's going to break, you're going to fail. You're going to fail miserably. All right, so when I was working, you would take, see, and there's a little break right there. We would take tomato, and we would run tomato right across this in order to create a nice seal. As you can see, we're getting some breakage again, so this might actually be a good test for us. Maybe this is a sign that we don't use these burritos anymore. Because yeah, if you see here, I'm getting breakages on this side as well, breakages on the top. So either of these tortillas has been sitting out for a really long time, and I got the short end of the stick. Look at that, pre-creased, every single one pre-creased. Either these have been sitting out for a really long time and now they've gone bad and I bought old tortillas, or these just aren't the tortillas that you should be going for burritos in the first place. That's kind of where I'm leaning. One of the things that we did at work is if we encountered a situation like this, we would just wrap another tortilla around it. So we're going to try that right now. No, when I moved into my first ever apartment, when I went to school, when I first went to college, I lived in an apartment. I didn't live on the dorms. It was pretty bare bones in there. I didn't have anything. I had very little furniture. I had to furnish the whole place myself. I had very little of anything. It's kind of a bed to sleep on and some things to eat in the fridge. But those Sherry's cups were essentially the only cups that I had, so it was a little awkward when people came over. I could have 2 guests because we had 3 Sherry's cups, but those are the smallest cups. They're smaller than an actual cup. They can hold less than an actual cup of liquid. They're like, yeah, so where did you get these Sherry's cups? I'm like, from Sherry's, of course. Don't worry about it. All right, so let's see what we do. So let's turn it like this instead. I'm gonna wrap this tortilla here. Fold it there. We're able to fold it now without worrying too much about it ripping. Again, that area is already ripped in the front. It was like that. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be able to make this work. So in future, what we're going to do, that's a pretty nice looking burrito. So we're going to heat up our tortillas for about a minute in the microwave before bringing them out. And then wrap them up, and this will be our meal prepping. Now, believe it or not, this is only half of the quantity of food that I usually make for myself. And see, even this, dang, yeah, even this broke on the side. That's too bad. So this is just half of a burrito that I could make. This is a full burrito, half of the quantity of food that I make for myself. And what I'll do is I'll just wrap it up like this, tape the bottom with a little bit of Scotch tape, and put it in the refrigerator or the freezer. But what I'm going to do is, since the food itself inside, the filling, was not heated up, we're going to test how long it's going to take to reheat in the microwave. Because what I want to do is I want to be able to get off work and actually just go directly to bed, even though I'll be really hungry. Wake up at 10:30 when it's time to go to work. Bring these to work with me, and then heat them up at the microwave that we have at work. Yeah, I mean, these tortillas don't taste bad. They don't taste bad. But clearly, I just folded it in on itself in a big crease form. That is too bad. That is too bad. So I'm not going to throw these away. The next time that I make a full meal, I'm just going to cut those up into little pieces and add them into our rice combo. Just let me fold it in on itself again. And you know what? We might just have to go with the smaller burritos and just make a larger quantity of them. We might have to bite the bullet and just go with that. But there's something about really large burritos, really large food sizes, portion sizes, that gets me going. So if any of you have any suggestions of large tortillas that you trust, that you rely on, please let me know. This, I mean, everything here is written in Spanish with the exception of the very base. It's 3.3 pounds of just tortillas. This is a keep refrigerated after purchase. Okay, well that explains it. These were not being refrigerated at the restaurant, the store that I picked them up at. Yeah, I don't know if these are going to make it, but if you have any recommendations, tortillas that you would use, please leave them down in the comments. I would try them out. Otherwise, I'm probably just going to go the Mission tortilla route. So let me look at this. Yeah, that feels good. I'm going to leave it in for just another 30 seconds, just in case, the middle is still cold. Put this away. Along with this, no biggie. We'll add that to our meal tomorrow. One second. Left it on 1 second. And I see no reason to break from tradition. We do this for all of our other videos. Why not continue it for this? Let's just assume that parchment paper doesn't weigh a whole lot, okay? Let's switch over to pounds. And let's weigh this bad boy. Let's weigh this sucker. That is a 1.5 pound 1.5 pound burrito. So that's 2 tortillas. Whatever the weight of the parchment paper is, which won't be that much. 1.6 pound. It's not a bad burrito right there. So let's just say, yeah, 1.4 pounds of filling in there. 1.4 pounds of filling. I don't know what I'm doing. As you can see, the sink was just recently cleaned and this was completely fresh. So do not hate me for pulling this back out. A little bit of some ADHD behavior right there. Not diagnosed, just notably ADHD behavior just occurred. And YouTubers, YouTube videos, you guys have become accustomed to the cut, right? Oh, shoot. Almost just cussed on camera. You guys have become accustomed to the split. So let's give you a nice split. I think 2.5 minutes probably was a little bit too long. Let's give you the split right here. That's going to be the thumbnail, baby. That's gonna be the thumbnail. Ooh. Oh, what'd I go through? What'd I go through for content? So yeah, 2.5 minutes, definitely too long. Definitely too long there. Let's get really awkward here and just... Oh, that's fantastic, isn't it? That is what a 1.5 pound burrito looks like, my friends. So think a little bit smaller portions maybe. I'm making 2 1-pound burritos, 2 1.2 pound burritos. That's kind of what I'm going for in future, going into work. This will work out just fine. And I think it would also help if I add maybe some teriyaki sauce to act more of a binding agent so you don't get kind of like this mess here in the middle. But now that we have finished that, we're going to gently, oh shoot, don't fall out, baby. Gently transfer this over to the plate. And because we're already making a mess, I will be giving myself a fork just to clean up that mess that's in the middle. Okay, let's just prove to you, even though it's gonna burn my mouth. Yeah, that's good. And it is warm. You know, for that stuff that's in the middle right there, 2.5 minutes is perfect. It's kind of room temperature in the middle. It's just this tortilla that's super hot. All right. Wow, this is actually looking so good. I think we'll take a photo for Instagram. I haven't posted an Instagram post in a while, so this might be a good time to plug the Instagram. You can go onto the One Meal channel, the One Meal, all underscores under each word on Instagram. You can also find us on Facebook. We have a Facebook page. And this is going to be the new addition. So, thank you all for watching today. I appreciate you. This has been an interesting little testing, experimentation video. Tomorrow we'll get back into the routine of making a normal massive pile of food for ourselves. We'll throw in a few burrito content videos throughout the week, and I'll also do some cleaning from time to time. So I appreciate all of you watching yet again. I'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.